Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the 9 p.m. live news edition. Here are the headlines. The president of Puntland visited today the port of Tajura in the north of the country. PSG wins over Atalanta and advances to the semi-finals. Hello, welcome to our newsroom for having the news in details. Received yesterday successively by the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Anglais, and the Prime Minister, Mr. Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed. The President of Puntland, Mr. Saeed Abdullahi, visited today the port of Tajur, located in the north of the country. The details in this video.
Received yesterday successfully by the President of the Republic of Djibouti, Mr. Ismail Anglais, and by the Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed. The President of the Puntland region, Mr. Saeed Abdullahi Dini, visited today the port of Tajura, located in the north of the country. Upon his arrival, President Saeed Abdullahi, accompanied by the Chairman of the Ports and Free Zones Authority, Mr. Abubakar Umar Hadi, was welcomed by the Director General of the Port of Tajura, Muhammad Abubakar Humad, and his close collaborators, the Chairman of Regional Council of Tajura and the Deputy Prefect of the region. The President of the Somali region of Puntland and his escorts toured the various structures and facilities at the port of Tajura. The two sides then had a fruitful discussions on topics of common interests. This 48-hour visit by the President of the Somali region of Puntland, Mr. Saeed Abdullahi, whose main objective is to gain expertise and transfer skills that our country can share with Puntland.
The visit allowed the President of the EPZFD, Mr. Abubakar Umar Hadi, to see the state of affairs since the port of Tajura is operational. Mr. Abubakar Umar Hadi said that this port is 100% owned by the Republic of Djibouti, and also showed his support to the Somali region of Puntland for all expertise and training required to equip itself with such a poor infrastructure. For his part, the president of the Somali region, Puntland, said he was very pleased with the welcome that the government of the Republic of Djibouti had given him and his delegation. President Saeed Abdullahi Deni took the opportunity to congratulate the Djiboutian authorities to their head or brother Ismail Anglais for putting Djibouti on the path of development of this brotherly and friendly country, Djibouti. The Republic of Djibouti is an example to enable us to implement our various port infrastructure projects, he concluded. Now, the Ministry of Equipment and Transport, Mr. Musa Mohammed Ahmed, and the Ministry of Civil Aviation and Airport, Mr. Ilyas Usman of the Puntland government visited Djibouti International Airport this morning. More details in this following reports.
The Minister of Equipment and Transport, Musa Mohammed Ahmed, and the Minister of Civil Aviation and Airports, Ilyas Usman of the Puntland President, visited Djibouti International Airport this morning. Accompanied by the Director General of the airport, Mr. Muhammad Yusuf Sharmaki, the ministerial delegation began the visit at the premises of the Djiboutian Civil Aviation, where they were welcomed by the Director General of the same institution, Mr. Dawood Ali Abdo. Discussions focused on ways and means of exchanging and cooperating in the aeronautical field, particularly in civil aviation. The delegation then went immediately to the premises of the Bureau of Investigation and Accidents, where it met the various BEA inspectors. The Puntland Minister had the opportunity to discuss with the Inspector General of the BEA, Mr. Hussein Abdi, which is the youngest institution at the airport. Still within the framework of his tour, the Minister of Transport and his Puntland counterpart went to the control tower, where they received explanations concerning the functioning of the operations in the tower, as well as the meteorological service at the control tower, which gives meteorological instructions for all the flights, directed by Mr. Muhammad Ismail, Director of the Meteorological Agency. Afterwards, the delegation turned in the premises of the GTA, the Air Transport Gendarmerie, accompanied by Commander Hared. The delegation was able to see firsthand the surveillance cameras and equipment that ensures the safety and security of the airport. The visit ended with a visit to the Cargo Department of Air Djibouti. The Director General of Air Djibouti, Mr. Abdurrahman, did not fail in his turn to explain to the delegation the airport technical capacities of institution and wished the cooperation in the airport field with the Puntland government in the aeronautical field.
Now in the north, the village of day as a land of summer camps was getting ready last night to welcome many youngsters, 100 in total, who will be housed and fed for the duration of their stay. More details on the following video.
The village of Dai, as a land of summer camps, was getting ready last night to welcome many youngsters, 100 in total, who will be housed and fed for the duration of their stay. The objectives is to offer a quality experience to these young people who have lived a special year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. A desire shared by the Scouts and Guides who represent an important weight in this locality. For the moment, we have prepared our camps as originally planned, says Isi Ahmed, manager of the Dai complex. However, we are waiting for final guidelines and specific protocol for scouting, he continued. Arriving a little late at night, the delegation was led by the Secretary of State for Youth and Sports.
Now, sport within the framework of the Regional Football Development Program. The Djibouti Football Federation has deployed since Saturday an important delegation led by the Vice President of the FDF and the President of Regional League, Mr. Mohammed Rufa Mohammed, and local experts and structure to grant an important batch of sport equipment to the participant, followed by a training and referring training to about 40 young from Dakhil. In addition to this training of technician, the FDF delegation organized during the day at 1600 at the official launching of the Regions Championship of Dakhil, which gathered more than a dozen football teams from the city of Dakhil, present at the ceremony where the president of the Djiboutian Federation of Football, Suleiman Hassan Ouabri, the prefect of the region, Mr. Adan Darar Musa, the president of the regional council, Mr. Abdurrahman Yunis Arre, the president of the regional league, Mr. Mohammed Rufa Mohammed, as well as the members of the committee to the regional league of Dakhil and several other guests. Djibouti's young entrepreneurs are constantly making a difference. They are taking more risk than ever before and setting up phenomenal businesses that are working to solve challenges they face and creating jobs in the process. A street vendor of soft drinks, Mr. Saeed, a young Djiboutian who has been able to initiate retail sales of ice cream for the Djiboutian public. We met this morning in front of the ministerial residence. He told us his ambition, to strengthen his innovation. Saeed tells us about his project to motivate young Djiboutian in difficulty to win a job. According to him, entrepreneurship is the best solution to create a job. He is an itinerant trader. He's almost everywhere in the city center to sell ice cream, and this to earn a living. Saeed, after his interview with the journalists, he said to us. Moving now to the necrology, it is with deep sadness that we announce you the death of the Mahmoud Farid Lebanon, who passed away last night at the Sheikh Hospital in Balbala. Born in 1949 in Al Sabih, the late Mahmoud Farid leaves behind him a widow, 10 children, and 6 grandchildren. The deceased was the father of our colleague of the news editing service, Bahdon Mahmoud Farid. In these painful circumstances, the entire staff of the RTD present its deepest condolences to his family, relatives, and friends of the deceased. May God, Allah, welcome him in his vast and eternal paradise. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Moving on to international news now, Victor comes just in time for his 50th birthday. PSG booked themselves a place in the Champions League semi-finals against Atlanta on Wednesday evening. More details in this video with Dina Musa.
Themselves a place in the Champions League semi-finals against Atlanta on Wednesday evening. However, it hadn't all started so well. Kylian Mbappe was absent at the kickoff. Neymar's first half efforts were not enough to get the game off to a good start, and PSG were forced to settle for a place in the semi-finals of the Champions League on Wednesday evening. PSG were 1-0 down in the 26th minute when the Italian club surprised everyone with a 1-0 lead. It was not until the 90th minute that PSG equalized at the last minute with a goal from Marquinhos before taking the lead again in the final minutes of added time with a goal from Choupo-Moting. Both players scored their first goals in the competition. The 2-1 win gave PSG their first Champions League semi-finals in 25 years. In the semi-finals, either Atletico Madrid or Rizbig will face each other on Thursday. Barcelona and Bayern Munich meet on Friday, while Manchester City and Lyon will battle it out for a place in the semi-finals on Saturday.
This is it for our edition of 9 p.m. Thank you for watching us and have a wonderful evening.